Alright, it begins. The first day in Arkham, all quiet, no gates. It's the start of the game. I got my reference sheet here. Um, there's a bunch of stuff. I made this just as a quick guide. It's pretty useful. I probably won't need it, but just in case. Alright. So, nothing's really going on, but that's all about to change starting now. As plans are set in motion, and Cthulhu starts to stir in his slumber. Let's see what happens. No one can help you now. Well, first, a gate opens up at the unnameable. So, first, Doom token on the Doom track, and a gate. The unnameable. And that clue goes bye-bye. And we get a monster. And it is a ghost. Not the funnest monster. As it doesn't move, it's yellow. It will haunt the unnameable until it's killed or sucked into a gate. It will not move. Sorry, this is shaky cam version. It's the best I got. No steady cam. Okay, he doesn't move since that's a yellow monster. Yellow monsters don't move. The clue shows up at the woods. So there's now 2 clues at the woods. And no one can help you now, environmental mystic. Gates cannot be sealed, although they can still be closed. That's fabulous. So, there it is. That's our condition. Just so we remember it. I'll keep it right there. Since we are playing hard mode, we have another Mythos card to resolve. Second Mythos card. And the woods. That is not good. That is not good. That's another Doom token. And the woods wipes out 2 clues at once. 2 clues gone. Another clue shows up at Independence Square. But you know what that means? Her personal story. If 2 or more clue tokens are removed from the board by opening a gate at the same time, place shadows in play. So she already loses her story. We don't even get to it before the game even begins. Shadows. It's not good. All my leads just taper off into the shadows and vanish in the night. Trish only gets to move her sliders to the right a total of 4 shifts instead of 5 when using her abnormal focus ability. Yep. It just got harder. Fun stuff. We gotta spawn a monster. It is Gug. Kinda nasty, actually. I caught a confused glimpses of a terrible, wrongly angled mouth, multi-jointed arms, and protruding eyes as big as a man's head. Nasty. 3 toughness. -1 will, 2 sanity loss, -2 fight, 4 stamina loss. Overwhelming, so it always does at least 1 stamina damage even if you kill it. And that is in the woods. And does it move? That is the question. It does move. It moves to Uptown. And headline, Manhunt in Arkham. Headline, all monsters and locations are returned to the cup. So that means the ghost gets removed, but the nug does not, since they're in the street. Interesting. The ghost goes back. That frees up a monster. Alright. Well, that was weird. Okay. Now we're on the upkeep phase. Rough start, but not too bad. We start with Silas Marsh. His condition for his personal story: if he can spend 3 clue tokens, 1 gate trophy, and 1 monster trophy during the upkeep phase to place his I Won't Give in play. I already know what it does. It devours them, but it seals the gate. If Silas Evers enters Relay, place Blue Depths in play, which is bad. He becomes a deep one, basically. He gains the Innsmouth look. So, we don't want him ever really going into gates. So, I think since he has martial arts, we're just going to have him kill monsters. That kind of thing. Let's see. Maybe go to Innsmouth and just collect the clue tokens to call in the Fed. Okay, so I've already pre-placed his stats, his sliders. I don't think I want to change anything. 2 speed. I think we're done with him. Because he's just going to move to the Unvisited Isle to collect that clue. Next up, unfortunately, she's already weakened by her side story failing at the intro, so we're just going to move her stuff, which is actually quite odd since the pairings are not like other people's skills: speed, sneak, fight, will, lore, luck. Hers is fight, sneak, lore, will, speed, luck. But we're going to need her to have some speed to get over to Independence Square, I believe, so... Or at least Ribs Roadhouse. Let's see. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. So speed of 4. And I'll move fight up once. Just sneak and fight up once, just in case. She's done. Next up is Patrice Hathaway. She has movement of 4, so she can haul ass to Independence Square, it looks like now. And I think everything else is good. Her personal story: each time she draws a unique item, put a clue token on this card. If there are 2 or more clue tokens on this card, place Rhythm Restored in play. If Patrice is knocked unconscious or driven insane, place Solus Aura into play. Okay. So actually, she has this safe deposit box, or key, I should say. If she can roll a luck check, she can get a unique item right away to spend 1 movement point. So I will probably do that on the movement phase, but that's why her speed is so high right now. Next up is Norman Weathers. His whole gig is signs unclear. If Norman has 3 or more gate trophies, place The Path is Lit in play. If Norman is lost in time and space, place Set Adrift in play. So not too bad. Both of them are more rare than, so they're not going to fire off anytime soon. That being said, he will be our gate crasher. So nothing really to change here, I believe. I just want him to move. Pretty extreme stats right now, so we might change it up later. The upkeep phase is one of those things they got rid of in Eldritch Horror, and I can see why. It's fiddly, and new players are it's kind of overwhelming. Like, how do I adjust my stats? What should I be focusing on? Because if you've never played the game before, but there is a sort of science to it. But it is definitely fiddly. That moves us to the movement phase. So going back to our lead investigator, Silas Marsh, he will be simply moving to the unvisited aisle. 1, 2, and he'll collect that clue. He gets the clue. Next up is Trish. She will be... Let's see. She will move to Hibbs Roadhouse. 1, 2, 3, 4, and to collect that clue. It's basically turn 1 is mostly clue gathering, but also item trading. But I think I'll work out item trading next turn. I just got to get these clues before they vanish. That brings us to Patrice. I think she's going to spend 1 movement point to use her safety deposit key, or at least attempt to. It's a one-time chance, so I think I shall give it a war. Oh yeah, I forgot to give her 2 clue tokens because 2 gates opened at the start of the game. So, let's see. She has a luck of 3 minus 2, 1 dice, 1 chance. Let's give it a whirl. It's a 5. Yeah, it was a shitty throw, but it's a success. All successes are 5s or 6s only, unless you're blessed, then it's 4, 5, or 6. But she's not blessed. So, she discards the safety deposit key and draws 1 unique item and gains 2 clue. She doesn't get 2 clue tokens, she just draws 1 unique item. If you fail, she gets 2 clue tokens. But that satisfies one of her holy water. Okay. Not the greatest. It's just a one-time +6 to combat. That means she gets progress on her story. The critic. She just needs 1 more unique item to draw. Alright, that brings us to... Oh yeah, she has to move still. She is going to Innsmouth Square, which is 3 movement points, 1 spent on the safety deposit key. 1, 2, 3. She gets both of these clues. So right now... Oops, I dropped it. So right now she has a ton of clues. Like a ton. She needs to close some gates. And that brings us to, last but not least, Norman Weathers, our gate closer. You know what? I think he should just go bum rush up a gate right now. I think he should just dive into the nearest gate. Because he can always use Patrice's clues to seal it. However, we cannot seal gates right now. But closing them is also good. Tricky, tricky, tricky. What to do? I'm just going to have him dive into a gate, because his personal story might be worth it. I forget what it is. So, 1, 2, 3, and that's his movement. Next up, encounter phase. So, starting with Silas Marsh, he is at the unvisited aisle. I shuffled. Just believe me. The willows seem to grow closer and more malevolent the longer you linger. Make a speed -1 check to make it back to your boat in time. If you fail, you trip over a protruding root. Okay. His speed is 2, so he's rolling 1 die. He trips and is delayed. I need to roll 2 more dice, actually. I forgot. That's a skill check in an aquatic location. 6. So he's not delayed. Next is Trish at Ribs Roadhouse. So, what's your story, friend? A smiling man inquires about your adventures over a glass of gin. You tell him your story. If you spend 3 clue tokens, he introduces himself as Ryan Dean and asks to join you. 3 clue tokens. Yeah, let's just do it, because we're crazy. 3 clue tokens spent. And we get Ryan Dean to join us. And when he joins us, we draw 1 common item. It is an elephant gun. Jesus. An elephant gun. Exhaust before making a combat check to gain +8 to that check. Jeez. That's crazy. I don't think I've ever used that before. The elephant gun. Man, I hate this camera. It's so bad. Anyway, whatever. Shaky. Next up is Patrice at Independence Square. Okay. Luckily, just another quiet day in the square, no encounter. That's actually good. And let's see, Norman Weathers. He is sucked into that gate. It is another dimension. And it's a mover. Uh-oh. So he goes to another dimension. That resolves Arkham encounters, but we have another world encounter because he got pulled into the gate. Another dimension is all colors, so it'll just be the top card. Other. The pinkish rays nearly get you. Pass a sneak +0 check or lose 2 stamina. Not good, since I think his sneak is really low. His sneak is 1. Sneak +0. Okay. So he's rolling 1 die. 1 die. Or he goes down to 1 stamina. It's a 6. That's the one I rolled. I promise. So he passes. Screw you, pinkish rays. And last but not least, we have the Mythos phase again. Back to the Mythos phase. Goody Yacht. It is a rumor. But first, the graveyard. So, the gate opens at the graveyard. And a Doom token gets added to the Doom Trek. And Patrice gets a clue for that gate opening. Monster movement. And yep, that monster continues to move. That one monster. Actually, wait, I forgot to summon the new monster first. Let's do everything in the proper order, guy. The new monster is Rat Thing. You cannot sneak past this sucker. It is a purple monster, so it's a pursuer. That is not cool. It's like a rat. I don't know, it's like a giant rat thing. Yeah, that's basically what it is. This camera sucks. Anyway, if you like rats, there's a rat. Now we check for monster movement. Get it right. The rat does not move, it's a circle. But this Nug Gug guy continues to move up to the Miskatonic University. Now it's time for the Great Ritual. Ongoing effect. Cultists, witches, warlocks, and high priests have their toughness increased by 2 while this card is in play. Place 1 clue token on this card at the end of every Mythos phase, beginning the turn after it enters play. If a single player discards 3 spells, 4 if there are 5 or more players, so 3 spells, while in the French Hill Streets during the Arkham Encounter phase, return this card to the box. Each player gains 2 clue tokens. Fail. If there are ever 5 clue tokens on this card, from now on, draw 2 Mythos cards each Mythos phase, ignoring everything on the first card except for the gate opening. This is bad. Bad. 3 spells. At the end of every Mythos phase starting next turn. So, in 5 turns, starting next turn, it's on. You just have to complete the ritual. Well, that concludes the first round of this horrible, horrible game so far. Yikes.